Somebody's got to be checked. What you've done at this particular time, by the time you get to step number 4, you're no longer out of pocket. You're no longer out of line. And you're no longer out of order. You're ready in terms of being in the mainstream of reality to start cashing in on everything that you brought up to this particular point. So here we are in step number 4. Anybody want to talk about that?
Yeah, when you make your decision, but you need to give it a food for your spirit.
Right.
That's the intention for step number 4. You need to give it the more food for your spirit. Do nothing what you do the last time. Don't go to the same thing home. Don't make it the same thing problem. And confess you have the power. You need to make more power.
And you know what? You bring up an excellent point. And I like my brother. He always take me to a point where I really have to re-examine what it is that I'm saying and connect it in a meaningful way. Because what he's saying is so true. How many of us have disguised the outside and tried to look good on the outside when on the inside we really wasn't feeling it at all? You know, we was pretending. We was doing what was necessary at the moment to disguise the situation so we could make a major come up while everybody else was sleeping and unaware of what was really going on the inside of us. We were just really disguising it up so we can put ourselves in position to make a major come up while they were sleeping or while they really didn't know what our real intentions and motives were. Are you following what I'm saying? I want to go somewhere with that. The growth that we're going to experience now in terms of what you said is that having dealt with step 1, 2, and 3, what we come to realize is had we got justice instead of mercy, none of us would be in here. There's some people that did a lot less than what I did, and they're not even around. They're not even in some type of state committed facility. They don't have the option of being in a recovery facility. Recovery means I'm about to give what I wasn't able to give before. I'm about to reposition myself. You follow what I'm saying? It's over with for them. So what I want to say in terms of that, God has actually, now here's the God aspect of it. Let's return to God. Let's examine ourselves and return to God. Here's what he did. He's showered us with mercy. And man, when you take a shower, who showers? Maybe I don't want to put nobody telling nobody. But you know, who showers and don't wash up under their arms? In their most private places, you make sure you wash yourself. Are you following what I'm saying? You make sure that you're clean. So what he's done in terms of this inside change is going to be represented on the outside. And I want to get into prayer on that situation. But I really want to jump into this for real good. Man, I love the way you take me there. But here's the deal. He showered us with kindness, right? And we know we didn't deserve some of the stuff. A lot of times we would do things, man, and no. I'll put it like this. There were times when we come home and we'd be in our home environment and our wives would be so good to us, our girlfriends and what have you, kids would be, and we know we don't deserve it. You know, but you don't want to say it, but you know they're being more kind and generous to you than what you deserve in terms of what you're giving back. Are you following what I'm saying? That same realistic examination that you're making at that particular, but men don't really express ourselves like that. But we need to when we return to God. Here's what I want to say. He showered us with kindness, right? So in our most private parts of things that we did in terms of whatever the things that we did, we can't talk to nobody, he showered you with mercy. Chosen you for greatness. Now ain't there a man in here that can't tell me that he's got something great on the inside ready to come on the outside? Are you following what I'm saying? But it don't happen until you realize you've been given mercy. Chosen you for greatness. Are you following what I'm saying? Marked you with his spirit. And why is it important that we recognize that he's marked us with his spirit? I just told you. There are some people in terms of that have done less, half or quarter than what we've done. And they ain't even here. Why? Because we've been marked, you understand, with mercy. And I mean marked with his spirit. And then what he does is after he showers you, he fills you with his spirit. Are you following? So now you're around bunches. You got energy that's coming out of you. Because you ain't got no dead weight that's on you. Are you following what I'm saying? I think, open up your books to Hebrews. Open up your Bibles, if you would, to Hebrews. I want to say, I want to say
71. 70. Yep.
Now watch, because I want this. I'm not going to be able to find it right away. But I'm going to find it. I'm determined to find this. I am determined. Right there in Hebrews, brother, and I'm going to find it if you just give me a moment here. I'll find how he washes us and cleanses us in terms of okay, man, I think it's about, I don't really want to slow down, but there it is, 12. Romans chapter 12. Let's look at 12. When he showered us with mercy, and he puts his spirit, and there's that re-energy, that reinvigorated, re-energized spirit that you have, because now you ain't got no dead weight. You don't owe nobody nothing. You ain't hurt nobody. You ain't did nothing to nobody, and you're trying to live right, do right, get right, and be right. Are you following what I'm saying? It's all about doing it right. Are you following what I'm saying? But here's what he does when he fills you with the Spirit. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. And I'm going to read it. Are you there? Tell the other men what page this is on.
1180.
1180. Man, you bring that. And all this got to do with on the inside coming out, right? So here we go. It says, wherefore seeing. Remember I told you before we had eyes we could see, ears we could hear. Wherefore now we can see. We also are compassed about, there it is on every side, with so great a cloud of witnesses. Now we got to do something. It's all voluntarily. Listen to what he says right here. Let us lay aside every weight. Are you following what I'm saying? There's some stuff that you're going to have to lay aside, dead weight. People that you were associated before, are you following what I'm saying? You're going to have, because there's a spirit on the inside of you where you fight. I can't get in that circle no more. Are you following? I can't do that right now. I ain't trying to go back where I ain't trying to live that life again. I'm trying to cash in the gold just in them hills and deal with less hills and valleys. But here it says, let us lay aside every weight and sin that does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience. Man, we got some stuff but you got to be patient. And then he says here, the race that is set before us. Now, how many of us in here actually can say that we're not in the race for success, or a race to turn our lives around, or a race to cash in on some experiences that we actually previously weren't able to cash in because we weren't in position to really benefit in a major kind of way. You got to lay aside that dead weight. I mean, we can go in here. I know at least a few of us can talk about some dead weight that we're going to have to let go when we leave here. And it's a hurting thing. People, are you following what I'm saying? My point of it is, in terms of that, he's filled us with his spirit, and that he's cleansed us from all unrighteousness. And now, because of the faith and the grace that we have in Jesus Christ and his finished work, his grace and his faith, now we enter into a born-again relationship with a power greater than ourselves. I choose to call him God. But anyway, that's what's happening in terms of it's necessary that we believe this whole relationship that we're about to enter into. Now, here we go, man. Let's look at, I'm just going to kind of touch the surface because we talked about most of this. Here we go, man, on page 59, understanding step 4. And I like the way he comes out of this, and first thing he starts talking about is special needs. We all got special needs, and why are they special? They're special to us. In terms of having examined step 1, we went through them, step 2, step 3, and now we're on step 4. It's become apparent and clear because we've entered into a relationship with a power greater than us, that there's some areas in our lives where not only do we have hope, but there are some areas in our life because we return to God in terms of that higher power, but we recognize that there's some cleaning up that's going to have to take place before we can make a major come up. Now let's go to the second paragraph on page 59. It says, step 4, we realize, and I like this, man, check this out. We realize that there's some areas in our life that need some special attention. We've got to go beyond just casually examining and dealing with areas in our lives, because there's nothing casual about the way that we were into a chemical dependency activity that led to, we want to say, maybe even some criminal activity. Anybody here can honestly say that we may have started out casually, but if you're in this room, there's nothing casual about the lifestyle that you was living. So what we want to say is, in terms of that, there's some special attention that we need to pay in terms of those areas of our life that we examine from step 1 to step 4. I mean, to the point where we get to step 4. And here's another issue that we talked about. I want to deal with this one, denial. I think I talked about that. Denial is what I want to say is, remember when I said in step 2, came to believe that power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity? Denial is another aspect of being insane. Are you what I'm saying? You seeing it for what it really ain't. You're denying that a change isn't necessary to take place. that's akin to this sanity issue. So step 2 is definitely relevant or has some meaning in terms of this denial aspect. We don't want to deny. How do we get out of that denial? Of course, somebody will jokingly say denial is the longest, widest, and deepest river. It's the denial of Egypt, the Nile. I know I kind of butchered that, but anyway. I ain't making no money being a comedian, that's for sure. But anyway, here's the deal what I'm saying. Denial is an aspect of that insane sanity issue. And so if we want to be strengthened mentally, physically, morally, and socially, especially in our minds, we got to come out of this thing of denial that things aren't as bad as they are. Because I tell you what, you in this room, everybody that was associated with you, you know, it's a hurtful thing when your child, your son, or your daughter look up at you, you know what, you sitting down and they're looking at you and they got nothing but love for you. But they're looking at you, oh man, I don't even want to get into some of the things the kids say. And you know what they said, Daddy, why are you doing this? You know, Daddy, I thought you said you was going to take us here. Or Daddy, I thought you said you was going to get this. Daddy, go hug Mommy. You know what I'm saying? Daddy, go. Now, man, come on, man. Tell me that you guys ain't experienced some situations like that.
Hell yeah.
And you say to yourself, man, something got to give. So when I'm saying if a child can recognize it, here's another one.
Well, you don't love no more, Mommy.
Yeah, come on, say that one more time. I don't think they heard you.
Mom, Papi, well, you don't love no more, Mommy.
Well, come on, man. Tell me that stuff don't hurt you, man. Especially, you may not catch you right then and there, but in some quiet times, that stuff really penetrates.
No, I love her, Papi. I love her.
Yeah, and in other words, you know what? Here, you got a child that's able to see things that you won't even, I want to say, what is the word? That you won't even address. Are you what I'm saying? There's definitely some stuff going on, man, that we really need to address. And it ain't no secret on the real side neither. You know, because, well, we can go all off into that. But that's just an example, the denial issue. And then we want to talk about God or our higher power that comes to us as a friend. We finally got somebody having living a friendless life, that we've got a friend that's willing to come to us and help us out in terms of the special needs that we need to be addressed. Now we go from understanding stuff or to working stuff for it. And it's one thing to say you want to do it, but it's a totally different thing than to actually engage in the activity, mind, body, soul, and spirit, and actually work in and we first work in terms of putting ourselves in position to benefit from step 4, and that step again is made assertion of fearless moral inventory. We first do that by working steps 1, 2, and 3. And so what he talks about here, and I like the metaphor or the example that he uses, he talks about making an inventory like if you own a store or you own a business. Just a store, say a regular store. Or all of us that deal with that life that we come from, we know about an inventory. How many guys do I got to explain to you what an inventory is? You know what I'm talking about.
Give me the requisition.
Yeah, you know, you go. You know, is everything in order? You know what I'm saying? Am my profits coming in? In other words, we actually do that same type of. We want to look at. What do we have? What do we bring to the table in terms of step 1, 2, and 3? Inventory. We do an inventory. Like a business do it. They take a clipboard and they go down every aisle. Well, we need to go down every aisle of every aspect and every issue that we've discussed in terms of steps 1, 2, and 3. And then when we talk about, here's what we do. We look for it. Hey, check this out, man. We talked about, here's some issues that we take stock in the issue of resentments. How many guys can identify with that? Grudges that we may be holding, and we got resentments and grudges, and then we talk about our healthy love and relationships, because it ain't our lives aren't totally, I want to say, unbalanced. There are some things that we've done that were pretty good, but we're going to examine some issues of grudges and resentments, and how do we do that? By honestly doing steps 1, 2, and 3.